Thank you for tuning in. This is BSing with Y Eagle Y, and once again we have DuhZeez with us on this episode. So today we're going to be talking about a few other things in the world. So many of y'all have probably seen what's going on for yourselves, but that's what the show's for, BSing. So. What's the first topic you'd like to talk about, DuhZeez?
Oh, I don't know. If you want to talk about what we were just talking about, we can.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay. It's the comments that are spreading on X right now, Twitter, and what Vivek and Elon, they've really kind of pissed off everyone right now, and I just wanted to call attention to it and kind of bring out, what Vivek said was not inherently wrong. We have it pulled up right here. He basically said that the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficient. It comes down to the C-word culture. Tough questions demand tough answers and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what he said wasn't inherently wrong, but I think Elon Musk added on to that, and that he wanted to get the 0.1% of the smartest from India and other countries and bring them to the US, which also isn't inherently wrong. But what I've always said is, if it can be abused, it will be abused. And so the problem is not, bringing foreigners into the workforce per se. It's the abuse of that. And it's always to the detriment of the people in that country. It doesn't have to be America. It could be any country. If you bring in foreigners, it is to the detriment of that country. And that is basically what it is boiling down to, and why it's caused such this division among people who were once their supporters. Right? But what Vivek said is not inherently wrong. He is right in certain aspects of it. However, I question his motives. Okay? I question his loyalties if he continues and he only brings up, but I didn't see where he brought up specifically Indians. Right? I don't see in there where he brought up specifically the Indian populace, because if you go by IQ quotient or whatever, China actually is a little bit better as far as their IQ per capita than India is. So, but I didn't see where he specified. So,
you said trust, but I know he's pretty new into the political aspect of it. He's coming from owning his own, starting his own company, and we spoke about that, before.
mm-hmm.
There is a lot of trust issues, especially when it comes to age and stuff like that, and especially, I don't want to say his ethnic background, but why choose that particular ethnic group?
Yeah, but that's what I said. He didn't specifically state that ethnic.
Okay.
As far as I could tell. Now, there may be another tweet out there. However, there's an issue when you start getting too many of a certain demographic or certain group, especially if that group is tight-knit, right? Okay, this is just an example. This is not, how it is. But let's say you have a group of Brazilians, okay? And they have Brazilians of money, right? They have a lot of money. It was a joke based on billions, but let's say that Brazilians were the dominant billionaires in the U.S., right? They had most of the money, and let's not kid around here. Money is power. Money is power. You may not equal that of a president unless you have enough of it, but if you have trillions of dollars, you have a lot of sway, especially with the current way things are in the government, right?
Most definitely.
Okay, so if you have a group of Brazilians and they're still have some loyalty to Brazil, wouldn't that be a problem if they are in control of U.S. businesses?
I would say so.
Even if they're CEOs of those businesses, even if they're not the shareholders who have probably the most sway of the business, even if they're the CEOs, wouldn't you say that they would have a little too much control in American corporations and in, let's say, the hiring of people? So if there's a lot of Brazilians that want to come to the U.S. and work, there would be this huge push to get them here for them to work because of who is actually in control of it. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what we're seeing, because you have a lot of CEOs who are Indian. I'm not saying all of them, but there are a lot of CEOs. There are a lot of higher ups who are Indian. And if you look before Elon Musk bought Twitter, I don't remember how many it was, but like of the top 10 people, I think 6 of them were Indian. The very top person was Indian. I forget his name. I'll have to look it up. But that's not to say that, you hate to cast doubt or cast blame on somebody because of their, background, their ethnic background, or whatever it is. But you worry about nepotism, and them, giving special. And I lost how to say words all of a sudden, but
no, I don't. I kind of, at some point, I kind of agree with the laziness of society today. Technology has made us lazy.
yeah.
You can pretty much, like, let's just say 30 years ago, everybody was outside playing around. Your curfew was at, say, a street light kicking on.
Mm.
All right.
That's
so
what Mama called you.
yeah.
You better get your butt inside.
Yeah. So nowadays, you have kids that stay inside all day on a device.
Stay up till 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning, couple hours of sleep, back at it again the next day.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a actual anime show, and I don't want to say it, but it is it's about technology, and these people, they become so lazy.
Oh, yeah.
They're just floating around on these.
I can't wait till we reach that point.
Floating around on these floating beds, and they can order and do things from this control pad. I mean, it's wild. I mean, it looks like that's where we're going. But yeah.
Well, you highlighted a parental issue. The parents not taking an interest in their children and helping them children to have a future, which it doesn't fall totally on the parents, especially when you have a culture where both parents work, and both parents may work.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up.
It's
the bills are higher, the grocery list or the prices are higher, so both parents are working, trying to make a living while technology is babysitting your child.
Yeah, and there's some people trying to say, oh, the fix for that is importing more people with higher IQs than you to take over the work. How does that fix that problem? It doesn't. It never will. The only way to fix the problem is to call out the problem and then a solution to it. The solution is not hiring more workers from some other country if you want to fix this one. Like I said, I'm not political, but I'm stating a fact. If you want to fix that,
I think we need to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work on yourself, you work on yours first, and then the rest will come. The problem is they want it now. Oh, I want it now. I need it now. We got to fix this now. This is not a problem you can fix overnight. This is a problem that is decades old, and you're not going to fix it overnight. You're especially not going to fix it by just, let's bring other people in to do it.
Well, perfect example. You could go out in your community and you can go talk with a teacher. A teacher you ask them what they get paid. The budgets are not in the school. The correct budget's not in the universities. And so one thing is taking care of us United States first.
Yes, and
You know,
the school issue is the beginning. Like, that's where the focus should be had right now for the future. It's not going to correct things immediately,
No.
right? But if we can teach children how to learn, this is the problem when I was going to school. I don't know about you, you were a little different generation. But when I was going to school, the teachers taught the curriculum, and that was it, right? And I understood, it took me years to understand that they were trying to teach me how to learn. But the problem I saw even back then was that people learn differently. Like, you can't teach everyone exactly the same. Just like dyslexics. You cannot teach a dyslexic the same way that I am taught, right? You have to teach them differently. And it's not just dyslexic, it's other people. Everyone is different. I'm not saying everyone should have their own specific curriculum and all that. What I'm saying is maybe we should find out how different groups learn and then play on their strengths. Right? Play on their strengths. So Asians are good at math, play on their strengths. Americans could be good at math, but maybe we should find out how they learn math first.
wouldn't you say that would be stereotypical?
No, I don't see it as stereotypical as much as if a person has a weakness, right? You work on that weakness. So if Americans have a weakness to math, they're not as good at math, then let's work on that weakness. Let's find out why, and then that's the problem we fix. That's not being done, and it hasn't been done ever. Since I've been in school anyway, it's always the same thing. They push the same curriculum on every child, the same learning on every child, and that's not how the world works.
Yeah.
So we need better. What needs to happen to me, this is just my opinion, is that before a child even enters the school, or maybe after kindergarten, or once they learn the basics, right? They need to be evaluated. They need to see what they lack, and they need to, it needs to be better testing to find out how they learn that specific topic. So if they have a problem in math, find out why. Are they seeing the numbers backwards like I did? I had a problem in math because I would transpose numbers. I was dyslexic when it came to math. That's why I was slower in math. But did the teachers care? Nah. They didn't care. They just stuck me in a different grade or a different, in a different class because they were like, oh, he's not getting it. It's like, well, I'm not getting it because you're not teaching me the way I learn. I basically had to teach myself. So the lessons were long and boring. But that is the what I see as the fix for at the very lowest level of education.
Yeah. Well, you spoke about Elon. Have you had a chance to see what T-Mobile's doing with? So Elon has given a 1-year service to T-Mobile. What do you think about that?
To use his satellites?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he was getting at, folks. He was getting at. I'm wondering where it's going. There was rumors that he would make his own phone. This could be leading up to that. Maybe he's considering buying out T-Mobile. But T-Mobile, I don't think has been doing very well. They have one of the largest networks, but maybe they've overextended themselves.
Well, I could tell you in my area, I've never been able to use T-Mobile.
No.
So, largest networks, I don't know.
Yeah.
But now, looking at it and reading the articles, I think that's a good idea. If I was, Elon, and I was planning for my future, and I would definitely go with a company that's already established itself and see what my services can do, what it does for that,
Yeah, I think this is, like you said, testing the water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely testing the water. Yeah. But hey, that's my opinion, so everybody has their own. But smart move if it is, So.
Yeah. I just wanted to say this on the previous topic is I had made a comment online. It's similar. I'll have to paraphrase because I don't have it in front of me, but I said government puts stuff in the food, water, and air to make you dumb. Also, government tells you you're too dumb and we have to hire from outside the country. It's like now they tell you you're too dumb and we have to hire these guys from outside the country.
No.
So the government always creates a problem and then gives you the solution to that problem. Here's the solution. We don't need you. We need these other guys from overseas.
But that's like some previous problems that we had recently that they gave us a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. We will. We will talk about that.
I mean, we can, but YouTube may kick us off.
Yeah, but that thing opened a lot of people's eyes, though.
Of course.
That was a big turning point for people to realize, hey, wait a second. Oh, speaking of it, I wanted to bring that up, too. I forgot to tell you about it. Did you see, concerning that, what Biden did?
No, I don't think so.
He's trying to give protections to those companies who created
so no backlash can come when
someone else takes until 2029. Just outside of of Trump's reach.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. Oh, that's not suspicious at all.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for anybody who has any damages from that, and it's like,
in my opinion, the new group entering the White House needs a clean house. There's some things that need to be taken care of, and every American has felt it in the last few years, and that this is as lost as we've been in a long time.
I think a lot of people think the house is too dirty. It's time to just burn it down and build a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road either way.
The next topic, though, he's going to love this because I read an article about a lawsuit against Apple. Right? So there's allegations against Apple that they're coming up on, court time about changing the performance of your phone, and a lot of us have noticed it. Your phone be working perfectly. It's an older model, and all of a sudden, man, my battery is going dead. Like you haven't changed anything. You have the same apps. Just one day you wake up, and this thing's draining the battery within, before the end of the day, before you're into your work period. All right, so there was an article, and they were pressured, and they said that with time, your phone, the battery life expectancy decreases. So
which is true.
Yeah.
For recycle, for the charging overnight.
Their explanation in decreasing the performance of your phone was they would decrease the performance in order to alleviate the battery.
Oh yeah,
life. Give you more.
Take less pressure off the battery, I guess.
Yeah. So that is the topic that you're seeing in some of the media today, is that there's allegations against Apple.
And well, you know how you fix the battery issue?
Throw it away and buy Android? Oh,
no, because they still have it. You fix the battery issue by making the batteries replaceable.
That'd be great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man,
a replaceable.
Whoever thought of a replaceable battery?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're a genius.
Well, that's just like the what is it? The little chips, that determines which service you're going to use.
Oh yeah,
now it's all electronic.
Yeah.
So
you don't need a SIM card.
Yeah, no SIM card. But hey, you know what? With up and coming technology, you would think you would get a little better.
No, it's getting worse. They don't care about making things better. They care about making money. And if they put a replaceable battery, they put a replaceable battery in, they can't sell the newest model with go faster stripes on it. and they can't, if they slow it down, if they, yours gets a little slow over time because that battery's getting old. It's an old device. The battery's getting old.
Yeah, we're not going to beat that dead horse because all of us over the years have had Apple products, and we know something happened.
Well, Android's been doing it too, though.
Oh, I'm sure both are guilty parties.
Oh, like I told Bob, though, I can't wait till the time when I buy a toaster from Walmart, and then they come in and they make that toaster where it's a lot slower to toast the toast. It goes from a couple minutes to like an hour and a half to toast your toast because there was an update, and now it's going to take you all morning to make that buttery toast. You don't see that. I'm being facetious, but you don't see that with regular items. It's only in the tech industry. So it's total BS. Like, you don't own your devices. That's crap. You pay $1,200 for a phone. You own that phone. They shouldn't be able to slow it down. My biggest gripe with Apple was not just the slowing of the phones down. It's also that you used to be able to use any Bluetooth controller if you want to play a game on the phone. Any Bluetooth controller. Then all of a sudden they came out with no, you have to have these MiFi controllers, MiFi controllers, in order to play on our phones now. They did an update, and even the ones that you used to be able to use any Bluetooth controller, you now have to have the MiFi. They should be sued for that. That's disabling functionality in the device.
That's what. If you ever notice, they always roll out an agreement with everything.
Oh yeah.
So there's an update, and you have to agree before you even update.
Yeah, those agreements need to go.
Or it'll be a mandatory this phone is gonna update tonight.
Whether you like it or not.
You're not your choice. It's gonna update, but you have to select agree. User agreement has to be selected.
It's the same thing in gaming though too.
Yeah.
You download a game, and if that company decides that game's not exactly the way we wanted to make that game, so we're going to completely just gut it and change the game from what you paid for. Currently, right now, there's nothing you can do about it. You can try re-downloading the old game or removing the update. Well, good luck with that.
I'd hate to get off topic, but definitely that part, gaming. Here lately, it seems like a game's not even complete, and they roll this thing out, and you pay $70 now. $70 for what? A buggy game? You can't. I mean, the thing freezes, crashes, whatever, and you just paid for a game that's still in the works, and they're going to roll out this 30-something gig update to complete the game.
Day one update.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're getting incomplete games now.
Oh, we definitely are. I cannot think of a game right offhand, especially a AAA game, that hasn't had a day one update or hasn't come out in a buggy mess. Even Elden Ring. I don't care about you FromSoft people who love FromSoft. Elden Ring was a mess at launch. It wouldn't run on certain computers.
It was killing GPUs.
Yes. So
graphic cards. Graphic cards.
FromSoft don't get a pass. I'm sorry. They still brought it. They did quickly fix it. Yes. But still.
What's crazy though? Is the new graphics cards. Now this was the 30 series, alright?
I gotta sell a kidney to get a new one.
But a 3090, this game was killing 3090s. The top of the 30 series. It was killing them.
They wanted you to buy two
graphics.
You had to have two.
Oh man.
You gotta buy that second one.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little scared to play that game. I didn't want to kill my 30 series. Yeah, I paid enough because with the epidemic, the pandemic, whatever,
and the shortages. They had the shortages, the chip shortage and all.
Man, I paid a fortune. I probably paid triple for my 30 series graphics card than what it would have been worth. So I wasn't gonna take that chance until after they fixed it. So. I'm sorry.
Send them a bill.
I didn't need no paperweight, that's for sure. But not a couple $1,000 paperweight. But
there's no no game that has come out that I can think of that's been.
And
Maybe a Nintendo game.
You say FromSoft, okay, but PlayStation buying FromSoft, have you heard that?
Oh yeah. I think I was the one that told you about that.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't look forward to that. I don't like PlayStation anymore. They used to be a good company, but their policies and everything have destroyed things. Their first party games are proof of that. Their first party games are not nearly as good as they were just a few years ago. So I don't see this as anything good for FromSoft, especially since it's going to be, it's going to be PlayStation exclusive for at least a year. And then after the year, they're going to put it on Steam for the same price. A year-old game. I'm sorry, but it's old at that point, and I'm not paying $70 for it. I'm not. Every game on Steam that's on there, you can get within a year that goes on sale.
Well, let's hope, Sony gets right. And, Sony used to be great.
Yeah.
And was outperforming Xbox. I know you got a lot of Xbox lovers out there, but I've had them all.
Me too.
And PlayStation used to be great. Sony done great, but do not try to compete with Microsoft. Then you get off topic to, which you're the people that love Sony and PlayStation. If you compete with Microsoft with Xbox, they're taking it to a way different level that their people don't enjoy. I'm not gonna say what they're all about, but Sony, you need to send out something, get everybody's idea of what they love about PlayStation or Sony.
Well, I think Concord, and there's another game that came out. I think it may have given them a little course correction. At least let's hope, because they have lost a lot of money this past year for the just straight up garbage. Now they did have Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was good. A lot of people bought that.
I do like PlayStation though, but if they continue the direction they're going, I'm a little disappointed.
There's only 3 games I know of on PlayStation right now for the PlayStation 5 that are actually good. Stellar Blade's one. That robot one. You know what I'm talking about? I forgot what Astrobot, and I just forgot what the third one was. Oh, the new Final Fantasy remake.
I did like that one. I hope y'all take care of that.
So I think that's the only 3 I can think of that were actually good, that were exclusive to the PlayStation 5, and everything else has been garbage, or you can get it on something else.
What was it? God of
Ragnarok?
Yeah,
it wasn't that good.
Well,
It was like the first God of War.
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh my god, one of the best games I've ever played. I would almost.
That's a tough game too.
It was tough, but it was fair though.
Yeah,
it was a tough fair.
Yeah, it made you work for it for sure.
Yeah. For the most part, it was fair. But it was one of the few games I would consider a 10 out of 10. As far as pacing, gameplay, graphics, everything was just top notch. No bugs. I didn't encounter a single bug in the whole game, the whole 40 plus hours I played in it. And then they come out with Ragnarok, and it just doesn't have the same heart. It just doesn't even feel like the same game to me. The gameplay is similar, but there's just something off, and I can't put my finger on it. Especially with those fights that replaced the Valkyrie fights. You go into them, and it's multiple. It'll be 2 Valkyries and a dude, and this game is not meant to fight multiple enemies that are that strong. Seriously, it's like Elden Ring, where when you have multiple enemies, it increases the difficulty exponentially. One of those fights is between, it's like the dudes, I don't remember what they're called, and then 2 Valkyries. It was near impossible. I know you have help because you have your little boy or the lady with you, but that doesn't help much. And it just, I don't know. I would rate it about a 6 to a 7 out of 10 instead. It was still good. It was not near.
Can't beat the original.
No.
So, since we're on PlayStation, why do you think the PSVR 1 made plenty of sales, And then when they rolled out PSVR 2, it was a failure.
I would say the main reason, the number one reason, it wasn't wireless. I would say that's the number one reason. Because people are tired of the wire. I mean, look at the sales on the Quest and all that. They're wireless. Man, they're doing great.
Yeah.
I
own Quest.
If PlayStation left the wire in, people don't want the wire. They're afraid they're going to step on it and break a $500 or $700, device. I don't blame them. There is technology right now. It's a very fast wireless technology, faster than even your Wi-Fi routers and stuff, that will transmit video. It could have been incorporated, and it wouldn't have costed that much more, and they could have done it wireless. I mean, for the most part, you're not going to play VR for 6 hours straight. Most of the time you're going to play like an hour, maybe two. It gets really daunting to play longer than that. But I think that was the main reason, is because it's not wireless. And then the second thing that really killed it was there wasn't any games. There was like no VR games that were really worth getting it for. You have to have the software to help back up the cost of the hardware, and it wasn't there. I mean, you could still play all your older VR games, but I mean, I can play them on my PS4. So
yeah, Well, we've talked a little bit about PlayStation. What about Xbox bringing out a handheld?
That's a waste of money.
Waste of money.
I think Nintendo's pretty much got the handheld market on lock right now. I really do. What do you think? You think it's worth them bringing it out?
I think they were a little late to the game, to tell you the truth. Right now, I mean, Nintendo, Nintendo has the handheld covered, right? If you really want to know how you're going to end up, Microsoft, is look at Steam. They rolled out a handheld, and where is it now? You know what I'm saying?
They're still selling it, but
they are. But you're not going to compete with Nintendo if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, but Steam has the best opportunity to compete with Nintendo.
They do, because they can
still
access
not doing that.
all your stuff.
Yeah, you can access not every single game. It has to be. Yeah, but still, you have a huge library to get to draw from.
Yeah, you can pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
From your PC. Yeah. All right, Microsoft, come on now, you're a little late to the game.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I said years ago, before Steam ever came out with their handheld, I said Epic should have came out with one. Now, I know Nintendo pretty much has it down, but Epic has free games like every week, every month. I didn't even check the one today because I forgot. But you have a massive library that you can add to like every month, and it would draw people to your platform. The problem with Epic is there's still no voice chat.
Yeah.
I can't even send a message to my friend saying, hey, you want to get on this game? I have to go to Steam or to some other app or something to send a message, say, hey, let's jump on this game on Epic.
Yeah, come on, Epic. Let's get it together. Let's get a chat. Let's get something that we can communicate within Epic.
You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're making people go to Steam to be able to communicate. That means they're not going to use your app. They're going to use Steam instead, no matter how many free games you offer them. It's really dumb to not have some kind of message system at the very least right now within your store, within your app. I don't understand. They were talking about that like years ago, adding that stuff. They still haven't done it yet. I don't know their business model. Maybe they haven't hired enough Indians to do it yet.
Come on now.
And we brought it full circle.
No. Well, there's also another thing I know we touched very lightly on, and it was the only reason is because we seen a little video, and it was about somebody accessing history or files in a town. You used to be able to go to the library, and you can find out pretty much any article, any history, microfiche. So, finding stuff. Okay, so finding stuff in your library back in the day, it was you had to search, you had to do a little time, but you could find it.
Yeah, all the old newspapers, like you said, microfiche, all the old newspapers were copied to microfiche for preservation. And I don't know how many people watching this know what microfiche are. Or microfiche
No,
are.
explain it.
Okay.
Explain it, because I'm sure there's plenty that may not be familiar with it.
Well, if you do happen to go to a library and you creak open the door and you look, they'll have these things that look like computers, but they're not. They're a projector. And they have these little tiny, like the negatives from film, right? And you can't see what's on them, but if you put them under that projector, it magnifies them. It's like a magnifier that projects the light through, and you can see what's on that little thing, and it stores those newspapers instead of full newspaper size down to super tiny. So it's basically condensation of information, and it preserves it. And that's how they used to do it before the internet. So if you wanted to find an article that you read, you find out the date, and you find the microfiche with all those articles and that specific, like New York Times or whatever it was, and you blow it up. And that's how things worked back then. But you had to work to find it, but at least you could find it.
Yeah, because today, on the internet, if I didn't like your topic, and I had power, or if I owned something, and I didn't want you putting out a particular topic, I could get rid of it. That's how it's so hard to find the actual truth these days. It's pathetic.
Yeah, and not just hard to find it, but you could read an article, and a week later you cannot find that article. You can't.
Less about that, like that topic about the guy that lit the woman on fire in the subway.
Yeah,
I tried finding that second video again, the one that shows the guy lighting the clothing on fire. We talked about it. In our opinion, the guy seemed like they were both drunk. Okay, that's what it seemed like.
If you watch the full video that's available, let me preface
if you can find it, okay, if you can find it, it was on X.
I should say the most full video, because I think it starts when she's already on fire, so you don't really know who even lit it. You just have to take people's word that he did it.
All you see is with the technology we have, everybody's got a phone on that subway. You telling me we don't have a full video? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got cameras on the subway. There's something fishy about that. Yeah, that's what I told Bob. That's why we're bringing it up again. Is that I told him to watch the video, because you didn't watch it, did you? Prior to I didn't get to see the full video. I seen bits and pieces, and we discussed it. And one particular video is, if I was to set someone on fire, I'm not gonna go sitting there trying to wave and I'm acting like I'm putting the fire out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit there, if I was a crazy person, I don't know why you would sit there and watch anybody, but if you were, you'd sit there and watch, and then you move. Get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Unless you plan on getting caught. But this dude was actually trying to do something with his drunken seemed self.
Yeah, and this is the importance of the preservation we talked about, but also accurate information. See, I when we first talked about it, I didn't really see the full video. I didn't see him fanning or none of that. I just saw the video of her and him sitting on the bench or whatever he was sitting, or on the floor, whatever he was sitting. And then I heard from everyone else, this dude lit her on fire. This dude was fanning flames trying to make the fire bigger and all this other stuff. But when I watched the video, and when you watched the video, my opinion was they were drunk as skunks. And it looked like he was actually trying to put her out, but he was too drunk to have the wherewithal to do so. That was my opinion. And
also, did you see the people around them? There was people around them.
Yeah. And
they're just standing there. They should be liable as that dude.
Yeah, but not a single person said, hey, stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like, what? It just brings up more questions more than anything.
It's without the full evidence, full video, it's hard to say what that dude was actually doing.
Yes, and this mob mentality that people have now, where someone brings up something and because they don't like illegal immigrants, they automatically all jump on this bandwagon that he did it, he's guilty, he tried to do all this stuff with zero evidence. That is not the way justice works. You're not guilty until proven innocent. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as the video is concerned, there's no proof that he even did it.
No.
There's
where it left off, it was...
Yeah, there's hearsay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that he's illegal. What's the truth? You know, the only thing we know is there was a lady on fire in the subway. The dude was like fanning it, but it looked like he was trying to put it out. To me, you know, it's like when a fire is lit suddenly and you panic, you blow on it because you think that's going to make it go out, right? Everyone does that.
Yeah.
If you know, especially if you're drunk, you're not thinking about, hey, maybe I should pat it down or stop it. Which actually, I think he did pat her a couple times with the rag, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think he did pat her a couple times. But you're not thinking.
I tried to go back and watch it. It's hard to find. I'm gonna tell you right now, yeah. It's hard to find the actual video that he's seen first.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing is people, this mob mentality sweeping across whatever you want to call conservatives or whatever, and it's no different than the other side and some of the things that they've tried to. We need to think rationally and instead of opinion dominating, it needs to be let the police, let the authorities handle it if something actually happened.
Yeah.
You know, this is not lynch culture anymore where everyone goes out, oh, we gotta take care of this guy, and they got their pitchforks, and then, you know, and then Frankenstein's like, and they're like, get him because he looks weird.
I could tell you what, if it was lynch country, I tell you, y'all, people have fell behind because, you know, letting what happened to this country, you know, you let it go too far. And I know Frankenstein wasn't the monster; he was a doctor. Don't say crap in the comments. No one knows the monster thing; they know the doctor name. Yeah. Oh. But so anyway, moving on from that, because you could spend all day, you know, thinking about what actually happened until you see the actual footage. You know, you're not gonna know, and until they put out the actual footage.
That's just like the LeBron James thing. Did you want to get into that?
You can. I mean, I watched the video. Okay. Oh my God.
So if you listen to stuff online, you would believe LeBron James is guilty, done deal, put him in prison. He's a friend of P. Diddy's and all that, right? But I urge everyone to watch the video of him saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," because you can see in that video, as soon as he said that, you could see a switch flipped in P. Diddy. Like someone with dollar signs when they go ching in their eyes. You could see that in P. Diddy, like, we got him now. We're gonna get millions from this deal. I'm not kidding. Isn't that?
You know, there were several things going on in my mind when he said that, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep that to myself. You know, because I know there's a lot of LeBron James fans out there. You know, he worked hard to get where he's at. He's a great athlete, and you know, maybe he was in the wrong place, wrong time, like a lot of people. I'm hoping that he didn't have any knowledge of what was going on. But
I don't think he did, and I think that's why he said that.
Yeah.
Because if you just think logically about it, if he was at those parties and actually knew all those stuff was going on, do you think he would incriminate himself by saying something like that?
Heck no, because he's always about keeping his image.
Yeah,
you know,
he's all about his image.
Everybody knows LeBron as keeping his image clean.
And I'm sitting here defending him. I can't stand him. I don't like LeBron James. I don't.
They should have kept Michael Jordan as the Space Jam guy.
Yep.
But, you know,
Jordan is far better to me than James ever thinks he is.
I understand, you know, you have to spice it up. You got to get a new guy in.
Yeah.
he worked hard to get where he got to go.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player.
Oh yeah.
His attitude is garbage. I don't like it. I don't like. He thinks way too much of himself. Michael Jordan was humble, and he was still a damn good player. Still better than LeBron James, as far as I'm concerned. He could whoop LeBron James if they was both the same age. You know, he'd run circles around that dude. No question. I'm sorry, and I'm not even into sports. I know that.
That would be an awesome lineup, though. I would love to see that. Be way better than that Tyson fight.
Yeah, but what you'd have to do is you'd have to put them in the WNBA so they get views. Put them in. You got to put them in a dress with
no.
with a wig on.
No, even the women don't wear dress.
The WNBA would be popular.
Yeah, it's. We're gonna go into the science topic because I noticed something. I read an article. It was from SciTech Daily, and no, I'm not sponsored, but I like to, educate myself every now and then, see what's new. One thing I did notice and read is scientists transform CO2 into a super strong 3D printed concrete. So they're doing an injection in the concrete with CO2, and they found that it was like super strong. Like doing a 3D print of this, I can even bring the article up, but like looking at it, if you can take and do something with some of the CO2 that, I don't know if anybody's familiar, but like say when they produce concrete, there's a lot of CO2. Okay, so if they can take that and inject it into your concrete, you have less that's going into the atmosphere. Which
wait, you saying that when they're making
the concrete, they're taking the CO2 off of it and they're injecting
it back
into the concrete. Look, let's pull it up, in case I miss.
But that's kind of similar to how they use.
Well, a lot of people is skeptical about injecting CO2 into the ground and it getting into water systems and stuff like that. So
it's just carbon dioxide.
Yeah, but
I mean, it can displace oxygen, but that's what I was alluding to. Is that like in metallurgy, if you can displace the oxygen in a metal, you actually make the metal stronger, right? And that's basically how stainless steel works, is because it has less oxygen in the metal. So I'm wondering if that's what's happening with the concrete, is they're using CO2 to displace something else in the concrete, or maybe it's helping the concrete to solidify in a different way to where it is stronger. It's weird. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, it was an interesting topic. There it is right here. And I'm gonna work on trying to get y'all able to see what we see in the future episodes, because I have to see it to believe it, understand. So we're gonna work on that in the future episodes.
Captures carbon.
So there's a section. Let's see. The process works by injecting steam and CO2 captured as byproducts from industrial processes into the concrete mix during printing. This allows the concrete to trap and store CO2 within its structure. Tests showed that this method not only stores carbon, but also strengthens the concrete. The printed material demonstrated greater mechanical strength compared to conventional 3D printed concrete.
Oh, okay. So what it's doing is there's something in the concrete that is basically ripping the oxygen away from the carbon and leaving the carbon behind, which carbon is stronger. But I'm wondering what is going on with the oxygen then. So the oxygen is being used by the concrete during drying?
It says when activated, the system pumps CO2 and steam into the concrete mix as the structure is printed. CO2 reacts with the components in the concrete, turning into a solid form that stays locked inside the material. And At the same time, steam improves absorption of CO2 into the 3D printed structure, enhancing its properties.
Okay, so the steam is, I'm assuming, still hot. Okay, so that the heat mixed with the extra oxygen in not only the steam and the CO2 is causing a reaction, and it's leaving behind the carbon, making the structure stronger. The carbon a lot of times is it's a reactive element similar. Well, oxygen is very reactive, right? But a lot of other elements, carbon is as well. That's where you get hydrocarbons and stuff from. Is that they will combine? They will actually bond to each other. That's where you get like graphite and all that. But so I'm wondering.
So, for those of us that like to have numbers, it says, let's see, this is on SciTech Daily. You can look up the article under science. It says, here we go. The structure also displayed better strength and durability. The printed concrete was up to 36.8% stronger in compression, and up to 45.3% stronger in bending, compared to regular 3D printed concrete. The method is also greener, absorbing and trapping 38% more carbon dioxide compared to traditional 3D printing methods.
So, well, that brings up another question. How strong is regular 3D printed concrete compared to regular concrete? So is it making the 3D printed concrete equal to regular concrete?
Well, it's showing 50% improvement.
In printability, yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So what I'm assuming it's doing is it's trapping carbon and some of the CO2. I would assume it's more the carbon, and it's releasing the oxygen. And that's why, because with emissions, if you emit oxygen, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you emit carbon dioxide, then that is a bad thing. If you emit too much of it. So what they're doing is they're injecting the steam with the carbon dioxide, and it's causing a further chemical reaction in the concrete, some type of reaction in the concrete,
Creating a stronger structure and flexible.
yes.
Also making it greener when you produce these.
But it is adding to the manufacturing process, though.
Oh, I'm sure, but
So how much energy are we saving versus how much we're losing doing this? You see what I'm saying?
the numbers ain't quite out. Yeah, there's always a trade-off. Yeah, I understand.
But if you're making it stronger, though, then that can offset it.
And you're reducing CO2.
Yeah.
So if you're making it stronger, you're reducing.
I can
the
reduce CO2 as well.
Uh-huh. Any moment now, he'll be passing out. No. But, yeah.
They can't tell I'm holding my breath. They're not in it.
Yeah.
I could have been breathing the whole time. You're just going to have to trust me.
Yeah. So, DuhZeez got something special for y'all. And,
oh, God, no.
Back to the Future.
Do you want me to do that?
Hey, why not, man? Give y'all a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Give y'all a laugh. Y'all, you ain't going to look at him the same, I'm telling you.
Can't see me anyway. So my idea was that I wanted to make a new Back to the Future for modern audiences, and so in this Back to the Future, Marty McFly is transgender, male to female, and Doc Brown, we can replace him with a black guy. That's fine. But he has to have the hair, the Doc Brown.
African American.
Yeah. He has to have the hair, the Doc Brown. You have to have that. But, so Marty, you want to play the part of Marty?
No.
So Marty, he finds Doc Brown, and I'm going to start at the scene where he's about to go back in time, right? When he first enters the DeLorean, which is now a Tesla. And so when he goes back in time, he's got to find a charging station that doesn't exist because the Tesla's you know, he's gonna go back just before they came out. And that's why he has to use the lightning to to charge
the test.
Yeah, charge the. So, Doc Brown's already gone into the future a bit, or into the past, and he's like, Marty, you gotta go back to 1985. I mean 95. No, 2015. It's not you, Marty. It's your tits. The doctor did a crap job on him. They don't even look like a woman's. And so he's like, for real, Doc? And he's like, yes. But I have a time machine now. What? A time machine? And he's like, yeah. I was sitting on the toilet and I came up with it. The flux capacitor. Like, what? The what? Never mind that. And so suddenly someone attacks them. He's like, he's like, you use nuclear? He's like, yeah, yes, Marty. It's the only thing with a reaction that could create that 1.21 gigabits. You know, and so somebody attacks me. He's like, who's that? He's like, oh, it's the lesbians. Like the lesbians? Yeah, the lesbian Libyans. Okay. Whoa. What about them? Where do you think I got the nuclear material for? All lesbians carry it. and so they attack, and Marty gets, you know, in the has to get in the time machine and go back to the past. He only goes back a few years, and it's just before he had the operation. So he meets with his older self and winds up falling in love with himself. It starts to fade away, so he has to make himself not love himself. And then he finds Doc, and they have to charge the Tesla, you know. So they have to tow the Tesla up to 88 miles per hour. Oh man, and then I had an idea for the second one and the third one too, but I cannot remember it right off the bat. Oh man, it's gonna be.
Can you imagine being in that head?
The machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Well, we're coming to a close, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, with BSing with Y Eagle Y.